Actually, I should have started cringing up there because when Brian came there a month ago maybe or whatever, and I told him I have a brother, Brian, so I got the next oldest boy to me, and of course he tortured me for years and years and years. When I saw Brian Penn, he was like, "Oh no, what are you doing here?" We get along great now, though. Anyway, Dad, are we there yet? How long more? Everyone has heard this. Everyone has used this. Those of you who are parents, actually, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And those of us, like myself, who aren't parents, I said this so many times to our own parents when we're going on a road trip or going, not even on a road trip, going anywhere. Everything when you're a child seems so great and so fantastic, and everything takes so long. If a day is a week, the summer is a lifetime for a child. And when you think of, you know, you're going out and going to Boring Park, I know we bug our father, let's go to Boring Park for the day. And he'd get us in the car, and he'd be driving and driving. Now, I mean, we lived on Mare Avenue, center of the city. This was an all-day trip. Now, of course, my father drove really slowly, but besides that, it seemed like it was a lifetime just getting out there. And you know, we'd go to visit our relatives down in Portugal Cove, and it was the same thing. You know, you're driving all down these windy roads and all the trees. And, you know, of course, when you grow up in the city, you know, that was our big trip, was to go, you know, Portugal Cove was a big thing because we didn't really have any relatives anywhere outside of, you know, the vicinity of the city. So this type of thing, and we'd go down to Sundays would be the big thing. You'd be driving down, looking at all the boats in the harbour. Of course, my father wanted to see the boats in the harbour, so that's why we always went down there. And you'd be looking up at the Fortis building, which of course will probably be no more soon, and big glass tower there. But you'd be looking up at the Fortis building, which back then was the Royal Trust building, you know, and it looked like the, you know, all 12 stories of it. It was almost scraping against the clouds in the sky. You know, it was just amazing. Just what you think everything is when you're a child, and it's really something else, you know. And you have your friends you're always playing with. I grew up on Mare Avenue, and there's Mare Avenue and there's Cook Street. And in between those two streets was Murphy's mansion. And of course, growing up, everyone called it the haunted house. It was an old, dilapidated mansion, you know, big mansard roof on it, and huge place. And of course, the stories went down through the ages, well, you know, for children anyway, went down through the years that, you know, when there were people who were murdered in there, and there's ghosts that are in there, and of course, you know, you can't be caught, you know, out on the property because, you know, old man Murphy comes and finds you. Well, God knows what he's going to do to you. See? So, of course, we'd spend our days, you'd be, you know, on your bikes and you're riding around the summertime and skateboards, all that kind of stuff. And we'd go out to Murphy's mansion. And I remember one time we were there, and someone must have broken in. No one really lived there when I grew up. It was always, you know, every now and then there'd be someone who would probably make it their home, but they weren't, you know, living there, you know, weren't paying rent, let me put it that way. And old man Murphy, he'd drive around town. He had all these properties, and he'd make sure that there was no one on his properties, and he'd always come around. And I think he probably had someone there as a caretaker every now and then, you know, just looking after the place, make sure it didn't fall down to the ground anymore. But it was about 2 acres of land. And actually, anyone, I don't know if you guys here have been watching the Republic of Doyle, but last week, I think it was last week's show, there was a scene where, you know, there was one of the guys were beat up or whatever, and they went into this, went up to this road, they're trying to find, you know, this fellow or whatever. They knew he was in this field. That's actually where Murphy's mansion is, and our house, my family's house, is still right behind there, and 2 great big pillars outside, and there was a wrought iron fence. There must have been about 50 or 60 trees on the property. So, of course, you'd be out there playing, you know, British Bulldog Charge or something like this, and you'd see the big black car come around the corner. And this would be old man Murphy, see. And he had a really sleek, I don't know what it was, could have been a Chrysler, probably from the 1960s, sleek and really sharp edges on this car. Of course, the thing was just rusting apart as well, because all the fenders would be rattling all over the place. And you'd hear him come around the corner, when you saw Old Man Murphy coming around, everyone, you just ran for whatever fence you could get to. And everyone's just climbing over fences to get away, because Old Man Murphy's coming, oh my God, he'll kill you. So this was, you know, everyone went through this. My brothers, I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and I mean, you know, everyone went through this, you know, stay out of there, don't go in there, don't be caught there, right? So, there was one time, and I was 12 years old. We're out there playing in the field, and the sun and all that, with all these trees, the sun would sort of dapple through, you know, all the trees, and that's coming down. We're all out there playing, late afternoon, and of course, you know, you hear the car coming around the corner, and that sound that the tires make on the rocks, and they kind of pop underneath the tires is coming around, and everyone froze. Old Man Murphy. And they all took off. They all ran, jumping over the fences for their own gardens. Took off, and I said, no, I'm staying here. I'm going to take what's coming. I'm going to stand up to Old Man Murphy. So I stood there on the side of the road, and Old Man Murphy in the car comes up the drive, and creeps up, and comes right up next to me, and stops. So you can't really see in the car. The next thing, window comes down. First time I've ever seen a power window in my life. Window there comes down like this. And then the door opens up. And he looks at me. He says, come here. So I go over and say, yes, sir? He said, are you a penny? Yes, I am. So he goes over to his glove compartment. Opens up the glove compartment. And I thought, this is it. The gun's coming out. So that's it. You know, I'm standing my ground. We're out here playing. We're not destroying the place. I'm just staying here, and that's it. Reaches in. He comes out and he says, do you like chocolate bars? Yeah, I do. Here you go. Thanks, Mr. Murphy. Drives on up around the house. I can see all the eyes, and they're looking at me through the fence. And here I am. I got the chocolate bar. And I'm eating away there. And I thought to myself, you know, are we near that? Are we there yet? And it's like, you know, you're never there, but it's just the journey. That's the whole trip. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Kevin, for that speech.